to Keeping It Real with Angela and
Allison.
On today's show, we are talking about being a first-time home buyer and what are the steps when it's time to purchase your first home. Yeah. I am Angela Lanuto, licensed associate real estate broker with the Angela Lanuto Team at Coldwell Banker Village Green Realty. And joining me today is my amazing team partner, Allison Morelle. Hi, Allison. How are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing great. And a special shout out to our first-time homebuyer viewers right now.
Yes, I know. It's so, we deal with a lot of first-time home buyers and, at all levels. And it's a little scary. It's scary when you're like, oh my gosh, I want to buy a house, but do I know what I'm doing? And so I think that today's topic is really important to talk about, especially coming to the spring market, especially seeing a lot of our downstate clients that want to relocate up to here. So let's talk. Let's start right about, tell me, what does it feel like to be a first-time home buyer and what are the steps?
Absolutely. So I was at an inspection with one of our first-time home buyer couples on Sunday who won a bid, multiple offer bid on a property in Catskills, thanks to Angela. Good job, Angela.
Thank you.
And it was time for their inspection. And they said, you know what, we love your podcasts. You have to do one about being a first-time home buyer. We have so many friends that are just clueless, for lack of a better word. So I said, you know what, that is a great idea. So let's do it. I'm going to delve right into the steps. This is a very simplified version of the steps involved to buying a home.
Yep.
So your first step, and I've said this before, and I know it's like beating a dead horse, is getting pre-approved. You have to get that pre-approval. It's so important. Otherwise, how do you even know what price point to start searching, right, Angela?
You're absolutely right. Well, and here's the other thing too. Because we have such a shortage in inventory, we just talked about this in one of our other podcasts, is that we have such a shortage in inventory and there's so many people looking at the same house. So when it comes time, if we go and show you a house and you're like, I love it, I want to buy it. Well, guess what? We need to have that paper in place because that's going to set us one step closer than our competitors, right? The other buyers who are looking at the same house. So when you have all that paperwork together, it really is going to help you. Plus, like Allison said, it helps to figure out your price point, what you can, pretty much what can you afford, what type of loan are you going to get? Because there's all different loans. It's not just a conventional loan. There's FHA loans. There's a USDA loan, there's a VA loan, and we'll talk about those in a later segment. What it actually will do is we'll have one of our local lenders come on and she'll be able to best explain each of those types of loans products for you. But for purposes of this, pre-qual letter, absolutely 100% hands down, talk to your bank, get that in place.
Yes. And, just as important as getting pre-approved by a lender is maintaining good credit. So during this process, please don't make any frivolous purchases on credit. Don't buy a car. Don't take out an auto loan. It should be your existing payments paid on time, and that is it. Because remember, that bank is looking at your debt to income ratio. So you don't want to throw that off in mid-process, right, Angela?
100%. We get excited, right? You got your pre-qual letter. Then you're like, okay, found the house, love the house, got the accepted offer. Wonderful. I want to start buying furniture for my house, right? I mean, that's natural, what we want to do. We're excited. But here's the thing. The bank not only looks at your credit when they're giving you that pre-qualification letter, but they also look at your credit and your credit score right before you're about to close.
So after you have that pre-qual in hand and you have a good understanding, and I can use those two, pre-qual and pre-approval are interchangeable for the most part. There's some subtle differences that we'll tell you at a different stage. Then you can start looking for homes. And Angela, I can help you through that. And we usually like to take, our first-time home buyers out to see no more than 3 or 4 homes at a time. Otherwise, it gets a little emotionally draining. So that's the best part, isn't it, Angela, looking at the homes?
I love, what we do is as soon as we meet with our first time home buyers, usually what we'll do is we'll have a meeting via Zoom now that we're in the virtual day here, right? So what we'll do is we'll connect with you via Zoom. We'll hear all about, your must-have list. Do you want a garage? Do you want to be a large acre of land? Do you want to be in the village? Do you want to be next to a ski mountain? Whatever it is, we're going to take that information down. We're going to set you up with a search. You're going to find houses that you love. And then we're going to plan a day and we're going to go out and look at some houses. And that is the exciting part, because you know why? It's almost like you're falling in love. You walk through a home and you're going to know right away. You're going to feel it. And when you feel it and you know it's right, then that's the home for you. And that is the most exciting part. And so, yeah, it's an exciting process. And here's the thing. Sometimes it might take your first couple of houses. Sometimes it might take 50 houses. I had one couple, they were first-time home buyers. It took them 2 years to find their first home. We looked probably, I want to say like every other weekend we looked. And, again, like I told you, it's like falling in love. You gotta find the right house for you. And when we did, let me tell you, we were like, this is it. We got to get this. And I still hear from them today. So then what happens after the home search? You find a house and then what?
Yeah. So then you make an offer. And our offer to purchase is a binder. It's not the contract, but it is legally binding. And it's going to outline all of those contingencies that Angela and I are going to recommend, like the home inspection, like clean title, which we'll talk about in a minute. And if it's accepted, your next step is to select an attorney, because we do need attorneys here to negotiate the contract with the seller and buyer side. And then the most scariest part in the process happens, the home inspection.
Dun, dun. Home inspection. It's just the home inspection.
Nothing scares us off, first of all. Everything can be fixed is what I tell my buyers. But of course, you have to be comfortable with what you're purchasing. So we will, recommend several very reputable licensed home inspectors, and you can certainly call them and interview them and price them out. And the home inspection is about a 2 or 3 hour process. And they look at everything in the home that they can see. Obviously, they can't see in walls. And they test, make sure that the water is potable, make sure that the septic is running well, make sure that your furnace is running well. It's really like a, this is your home introduction. So you learn about the home and the mechanicals. So crucial step, right, Angela?
It is. And it's a step that should not be overlooked. 100% make sure you get a home inspection. I don't care how great the house is. I don't care if it's a new build house. You must get a home inspection. Why? Because what we see and what a home inspector sees are different things.
That's right. So home inspection is over. Any repairs, safety hazards, latent defects are negotiated. Now you're going to go into the contract process. So the attorneys, that's really the attorney's world, is negotiating the contract back and forth. The buyer's attorney is going to make sure that they represent you in your best interest, and the seller in the seller's best interest. And once the contract is signed, that's when you pay your deposit. And deposits are typically 3 to 5%. There are some loan products that don't require any money down, and we can discuss that in a later episode. But once you're under contract, there's a few important things that start to happen. The first one is title search. And that is done by your attorney, the buyer's attorney. Angela, tell us what the title search and the municipal search are.
Sure. So what happens is so when you sign your contract, your attorney, the buyer's attorney, is going to order a title report. And what a title report is it's really going to look at the history of the property of the home. So essentially, are there any loans out on the property? Is there any money that's owed out, that the sellers might owe on the property, like an old mortgage or anything like that? Are there any what they call liens on the property? And that means, like a mechanical lien or a mortgage lien. They're called liens. Your attorney can go into greater detail about that with regards to the title report if you have any specific questions. But what it does is it's essentially you want to make sure that that property is free of any liens. And that means that it's all ready to go. There is no money owed on that property, and it's called a clean title when that happens. Now, another part of a title report is the municipal report. So the municipal report, that is a report that comes from your local municipality of where you're purchasing the property. So we'll say, for example, Catskill. You're buying a house in Catskill. What your attorney is going to do is they're going to contact the town of Catskill building department, and they're going to see if there were any open building permits on that property. Now, you want to make sure that there are no open building permits. If there are, you really want to get that closed up before you close on the house. And typically what will happen is that will be the responsibility of the seller.
It's a very important step. And then simultaneously, you will have begun the mortgage application process with your lender. And, once the lender gets the contract, they will order what's called an appraisal. And it's going to be a independent third party who is hired by the bank to come out and to assess your home to make sure that it is adequate collateral for what you're mortgaging in the event that you should default, which none of you will. So that's another major milestone when we get that appraisal done, right, Angela? And it comes in and we're like, woohoo!
Yeah, absolutely. And if your property does not appraise for what you have that you were going to purchase it for, you can either ask the seller to reduce the price to match the purchase that the bank appraiser has, B, increase the amount of money that you're going to put down in the home, or C, walk away. So you have some options.
So once the home is appraised, your mortgage will move to the final underwriting process, and the underwriters will will commit to lending to you firstly, and then they're going to determine when your loan is cleared to close. All of while your bank representative might reach out to you looking for paperwork. Maybe they need a pay stub, maybe they need a W-2. It's very important that you get these things in a timely fashion to keep that mortgage moving along. You have typically a rate that you've locked in. You don't want that to expire. You have an on or about closing date. You don't want to surpass that significantly. So you have to get the bank what they need, because it's the bank's ball game at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Once they have everything they need, they give you the clear to close. They'll notify the attorneys to go ahead and schedule the closing. Yay! And that's when you will contact us to schedule your final walkthrough.
Yep.
And the final walkthrough is done the morning of or the afternoon of, depending on what time the closing is. And it's basically just to take a walkthrough, make sure that everything is as expected. If something was supposed to be there, making sure it's still there, that there's no significant or new damage to the home, just making sure that you are comfortable and that what you expected to see, you see. And then you head to the closing where you sign, and you will take ownership after the closing is done, and you'll get the keys and you can move right in afterwards. It's very exciting.
That's right. So that was fun. So yeah, so let's chat a little bit about us. So, we said about having a good team to help you. Well, we are the Angela Lanuto team here at Coldwell Banker Village Green Realty, and we are a lifestyle team. And what that means is we match Hudson Valley properties to your unique lifestyle. And we also act as a full service concierge team as well. So we're really here to help you with every step of the way. It's whether it be before the closing or after. You might want to reach out to us to find out the best, local vet, or, the best place to go grocery shopping, or, what are the fun things to do in the area. We're here for you. You guys can call us at any time. So that was exciting.
Yes.
Anything else you have to say?
Well, if you can't tell, Angela and I don't scare easy. So we're great to have in your corner, especially if this is the first time making a purchase.
Yeah.
Call. We're happy to help.
Absolutely. Speaking of calling, you can reach us on our cell phone. It's 845-658-0536. You can call or text us. Again, that's 845-658-0536, and you can call or text us. Also, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can watch the Angela Lanuto team and our Keeping It Real episodes, where you can learn more fun facts about the areas and, more tips.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us today. You can visit us online at angelalanuto.com. And this is Keeping It Real with Angela and
Allison.
Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you soon. And welcome to being a homeowner. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.